Once upon a time, there was a girl who wanted to change her life, and we all know changes only happen if you make it happen yourself. So let me take you on a short journey to introduce you to how I did just that. Firstly, my name is Fran. I am married to John, and we married July 2011 in a small ceremony in Kirribilli, Sydney. It was nice to elope and then have a party afterwards to celebrate with our families and friends in Melbourne, as we both come from big families. I'm the third eldest of 7 kids, and John is the 9th of 9, so we both know what it is like to take responsibility for ourselves and our decisions, as this was ingrained into both of us from childhood. Growing up with so many siblings, we never had extra money for exciting things like clothes and going out and travelling, so we all took part-time jobs while still at school. My first was retail at Myer and also KFC, which I absolutely loved. The freedom to have my own money to buy my own clothes and go out partying and pay my way started at the age of 15. I then left home at 19 and moved to Sydney and worked as a waitress, working my way up to manager. It was long hours and hard work, but alas rewarding in the simplest of ways. 5 years later, a friend was travelling and asked me to come meet her, so I did. I jumped on a plane and was so nervous and scared. I was 24 years old. I flew to Athens and arrived on my own. It was the most scary thing I had done up until that point, but wow, what an amazing, thrilling 2 years I went on to have. I toured some of Europe with my buddies, Greece, Turkey, Italy, Ireland, Scotland, England, and then found myself living in the heart of London, Notting Hill Gate, working in a pub by night and as a secretary by day at the BBC for some months, followed by National Gallery in Trafalgar Square. I met an Irishman and we dated for the 2 years, and we spent weekends flying to Prague, Paris, New York, Dublin. It was surreal at times. When that chapter closed, I made my way back to Australia and settled in Melbourne. I was now 27, and I had to start again to make new friends and forge a career. But I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I did temp jobs and I ran, chasing my tail from place to place. I worked for so many huge corporations and soon realised that to be successful, I had to work harder and longer hours. Nothing stood still, and I learned how to form stress as a daily habit. Life became hard. So instead of saving money, I started to rack up debt, as I needed an outlet, and I started making frequent trips back to the other side of the world. I ended up travelling at least once a year back to Italy, discovering Portofino and the Amalfi Coast, back to Turkey, another favourite haunt, London, Dublin. I also found myself in places like Thailand, Singapore, Hawaii, Spain. Life was never boring. I would return to my office jobs in Melbourne, only spending enough time there to save for the next adventure. And then I met my first husband, of whom I cannot regret or ignore the moments this time etched into my being. He had 3 kids and I became an instant stepmum. It was a stressful, hard time, and looking back, all we seemed to do was fight and argue over money. But after 3 years of that grueling, self-testing section of life, a decision was made for me and he walked away, leaving much debt and pain on my shoulders. It was not long after that I met John, and he allowed me to ditch the rat race and to search for something better. I'm totally grateful that he gave me that gift, as life is now totally amazing. I work from home, in my pyjamas mainly, and I only work a few hours a day. There are a few simple steps I need to take to be successful with this business. It is not easy, in the sense you do have to work. You do not sit back and your bank account just fills on its own. You do work, but it is fulfilling work. Being part of a like-minded community daily and helping others to also achieve their dreams. It is simple, and all I have to do is follow the system that has been put in place, and that is a beautiful thing.